In this video, I'm going to be explaining the frankly disappointing Binance Burn announcement that just came out. So let's get into it. If we hop over to Twitter to start us off, we can see right here that CZ Binance just tweeted out 24 minutes ago saying the first Terra Luna Classic burn roughly $1.8 million. Binance also tweeted out that Binance completes the first Terra Luna Classic burn, burning all trading fees and collected from the Terra Luna Classic spot in margin trading pairs. First thing I want to highlight for you guys that a lot of people are getting wrong. So this is something critical to understand. So if we scroll down, they talk about the amount that they actually burn and all this information. The time period right here is something a lot of people are missing, right? This is from 9/21 through 10/1, right? So this is over an entire week. And so with this being roughly 10 days for this first time period, a lot of people are misunderstanding, saying, hey, next week's going to be better. And there's a lot of expectations that next week might be higher. However, next time that we get a burn, you can see by this time period right here, this is only going to be exactly a week for batch number 2. So batch number 1, 10 days. Batch number 2 is only going to be 7 days. And so it's important for you to understand next week is probably going to be even lower, unless we get a way higher volume number, of course. But to compensate for 3 extra days, it would have to go a lot higher for sure. And so it's important for you to understand that because a lot of people are getting that wrong right now. And so I think it's important for us to take this number and look at it and say, hey, how can this play out over the next couple months? But before we get into that spreadsheet that I made, let's first talk about why this happened. So first off, we can click right here. Just for anyone who doesn't know, you can actually click on the transaction link and see exactly how much Binance sent over. So you can verify if you wanted to that they are burning what they say they are burning. Next important thing, right? So if we take this number, we're looking at just over $1.8 million, almost $1.9 million, which as we saw equates to roughly 5.5 billion Terra Luna Classic. Granted, this is Binance, the largest Terra Luna Classic exchange out there that contributes roughly 55% of the trading volume. And so definitely we would hope to see a little bit more. But at the end of the day, this still is progress, right? It's not maybe the progress we want to see, but this is progress. So why is this so much lower? We saw a lot of estimates in the past couple of days, well over 10 billion, excuse me, Terra Luna Classic being burned. So why is this so low? Well, this comes down to the way the Binance fees work. Binance fees based on your different user setting, right? So they have different VIPs. So right here, let's just break it down very simple. So a regular user who trades under 1 million BUSD in a 30-day volume, they're going to have a fee of 0.1%. If they use BNB, they get 25% off, right? So that drives value to BNB. But that means that people can get a discount on their trading fees. And if we look, they actually have these VIP tiers as well. So if I scroll down a little bit, these VIP tiers right here that you guys can see, these ones, granted, it takes a lot of volume. These are definitely whales that would be in this category. I mean, this VIP tier 4, this is going to be a massive whale, but it's important to highlight for you guys to understand. So if they do a trade, they pay 0.02%, right? So they're paying essentially 1/5 what the average person is going to pay as far as a trading fee, and they can of course get a discount on top of that as well. And so this means with the number that we're seeing as far as how much Terra Luna Classic actually got burned, it's very clear to us that if we hop over here, that a lot of these traders must have been whales because we've had such high volume numbers that this should be a lot bigger of a burn amount. But a lot of these traders must be whales getting super sharp discounts on their trading fees. So this is the Binance Terra Luna Classic burn calculator that I put together the other day. And if you guys want access to this, it's going to be in the link down below. Stop right there. The vast majority of you are not subscribed and don't have your notification bells turned on. Do that right now so you don't miss another video just like this. So let's get into it. So first of all, I left the burn at the 0.1%. And the reason for that is that we simply just don't know what's the breakdown, right? How much of the volume was at 0.1? How much was at 0.07? All these different numbers. So we can't actually calculate what is the average percentage being burned. We don't have that information right now. Hopefully when Binance does a report tomorrow, we can get that information, but right now we don't have it. So let's leave this at 0.1. So what I did instead, set the average volume to be equal. So then our daily burn is going to be equal to 1/10, because again, we had a 10-day period of the total amount burned over the period, which is 1.86 million. So let's dive into this. So to start off, a daily we're burning just under $200,000 of Terra Luna Classic, which is definitely a great point for us to be at right now. Of course, it's not where we want to be, but this is a good starting step, right? Everything's going to come in stages, and we're going to have to progress over time. Our daily Terra Luna Classic burn just over 500 million Terra Luna Classic. So what does that do to our price in the future and our burned total supply? So let's look 3 months out here. We can see our price would increase just under 1% and we'd burn just under 1% of our total supply. Now that is assuming our current market cap doesn't change, right? This number does not change at all from what we're currently seeing. And so this is something important to consider. It's also important to consider this is just from the Binance burn. This is not factoring in on-chain, other exchanges, all those other burns that go into it. This is just Binance. So let's keep going. So as we look a year out, because I believe it's really important to look at a longer horizon when you're doing investments. So we look a year out here, we can see price should increase roughly 3% just from the Binance burn, assuming our market cap stays the same. We should be burning about 3% of the total supply. Nothing too insane, but definitely some nice progress is starting to be made. Because of course, as we look a year out, we hope to see maybe a 1.2% burn instead of the 0.1%. So let's keep going here. So if you look forward a little bit more, we can see 2 years out into the future, we're going to be up over 6% and have 6% of the total supply burned, right? This is a far cry from the 90% that we want to see. However, if we go up here and we change the burn amount that Binance does, so let's change this to 1.2. Let's say Binance actually implements a 1.2% burn for us instead of the 0.1. We can actually see that this number goes a lot better for us. So potentially if we look, let's start with a year out right here. If we look a year out, we could be burning about 45 or increasing our price by about 45% and burning about 31% of the total supply. This is a lot better of a scenario. And again, this is just for Binance. So we don't need to factor in everything right now. We're just factoring Binance. So if Binance burns 30%, on-chain burns another 30%, and maybe other exchanges another 30%, that would be a 90% total burn. That'd be really insane for us to have in a year. Now, I don't necessarily think that's going to happen, but this is what could potentially happen if we get a lot of things that we want to see as a community. If we continue looking 2 years out, we can see that Binance would increase the price. Just from Binance, the price of Terra Luna Classic should go up over 100%, and we should burn roughly 50% of the total supply, which is massive because we're burning 50% of 6.5 trillion Terra Luna Classic. So we'd actually dramatically reduce our total supply, again, just from Binance. And so while this burn number is disappointing compared to what we had hoped to see, it's really important for us to look towards the future and say, yep, this is not what we want to have right now, right? We don't want to be a year out and only burn 3% of our total supply. No one wants that. We want to burn a lot more than that. However, this is a first building step. This is Binance giving up their revenue, right? This is not like we're paying the fee here to be able to burn this just under $200,000 of Terra Luna Classic a day or over 500 million Terra Luna Classic a day. This is Binance foregoing their profits to burn that for the community. And so, yeah, this number is not as big as we want, but this is also not coming out of our pockets, right? If you do an on-chain burn, that's coming out of your pocket to do the 1.2%. And so this is really good for us to see as a first step, even though it's not what we want to see. Clearly got a long ways to go before this 1 year number is going to hit a 90% burn, a 50% burn, whatever it is that we really want to hit here. And that's why I'm trying to stake my Terra Luna Classic to earn some nice yield while I'm waiting for that to happen. If you want to stake your Terra Luna Classic to earn some insane yield while we're waiting for this burn to really kick in and go ham, be sure to check out this video up here where I explain how to easily stake your Terra Luna Classic and earn over 25% yield right now.